Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Eric from the MMG. Today we're talking a little bit more Windrose. Going to give you some tips and tricks for getting yourself started and kind of some mid-game tips that may help you on early to mid-game tips. I would say your first 5 to 10 hours, you're going to be encountering some of these issues. And these tips, if you watch them, will help you. Or maybe it's stuff you didn't realize how to do. We're here to help. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let's get to it. And I'm going to try to have these in order of when you should encounter them. First thing off, pretty early in the game, you're going to get a lantern. It's going to use fuel pretty quickly, but you're going to need it because you're going to go into caves where it's dark and you can't really see. Well, if you come to your workbench, there is a tab up there that says Refill Repair. And if your lantern is empty and in your inventory, you'll be able to refill it here if you have animal fat. And you can get animal fat from boars. All right, so a lot of people are going to do this. We did this. You start to get your quest to put your base down. You put it down here near the ocean in a cool looking spot. But what you don't want to do is build far away from your main resource that you're going to need, which is wood. And see, this, even though it's visible, it's still a bit of a run to get to the wood. And the second thing, really it becomes your main resource very quickly, is copper. And so copper is in the middle of this island, not a great spot to build anywhere. I mean, maybe right here with this little inlet would have been a good spot. We're right here in the far end. Maybe if I would have built it right here, yeah, that would have been a little bit more manageable. So be very careful with where you're building your first base because it's going to become your main base pretty quickly on. And while you can move it and rebuild it, just a tip to get started, location does matter because you're gonna be doing a lot of trips back and forth. Let me show you what a base that we found that is in a really good location. So right here is what I would call a perfect location. So you see we are close to the shore, so you can have your bell down, not too far away for fast travel. You have your hut here, you have your smelters going, and you're also really close to some trees. That's going to be a huge help for you when you're building up early on in the game. And if you find a great location like this where there's a cave nearby, this is perfect because we can get our copper right here. So your main resources you're going to use early game is going to be copper and wood, and you're going to need a bunch of it. So having your first base set up where it's close by to both those resources is going to make your life a lot easier. All right, the first thing I want to talk about is ships. Once you get your first ship in the main quest line, it happens, pretty early. I'd say within the first 5 hours of the game, you'll get your first ship, your first big ship. Let me rephrase that. And then you're going to have to put down a wharf. And when you do that, you're going to see you have 3 versions of this ketch that you can build. And obviously the most appealing one here is Blackbeards, right? I mean, who doesn't want Blackbeards? But the main thing you need to look for here is unless you have the 24-pound guns, which you won't early on, I don't think. I mean, I still don't have them. It's not worth building Blackbeards. The low health will sink you quicker than anything. I would definitely recommend you keeping your base catch or maybe building the Brethren if you do want a secondary ship. This one has more health, and your health points is huge. So this one has 30,000 more health, almost double the health of Blackbeards, and your base one has 50,000. And even the 50,000 is a good stock. So make sure, don't get in a hurry to build Blackbeards. It's not going to be good for you early on. There's too many ships. There's ships of 3. And even though you have a little bit more maneuverability, it's not going to help you nearly as much as having the extra health if you want to build this ship, or just keeping your base ship and upgrading it. Now, when you start to be able to upgrade your ships, you get more resources, then things change a little bit. But early game, do not make the mistake of just building Blackbeard's variant because you want the extra firepower. It is not going to help you early game. All right, next up we're going to talk about your ship equipment. You can handle this from the ship management tab, which you can access from a couple different locations, from over here at the ship repair, or when you're on your ship, there's a ship management option you can click on, and then you can go to customization. This is where you change the name and the cosmetics if you have any. But the thing we're going to talk about is the ship gear. This is where you equip your ship gear. And the one thing that people don't know about this stuff is you can actually upgrade it to make it better and stronger. Now you can't do it from the ship, but pull it back into your inventory like I just did, and then you're going to come over here to the upgrade bench. Armor, is it this one? Nope, not that one, sorry. The shipwright workshop, that's where you do it. You click on upgrade, and then here they are. As you can see, you can actually upgrade these to do more damage. The hull bracing gives your ship better defense, which is Very awesome. And then also your cannons you can upgrade, right, to do more damage themselves. And then you have your boarding party gear, which increases your crew's fighting capabilities. These are essential, and these are things you want to focus on with any ship you decide to go with. All right, MMGers, thanks for hanging out with me. Hopefully these tips helped you out in Windrose. See you on the high seas.